now the Bridgnorth Pod with Dan Bradley and John Garbett.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of the Bridgnorth Pod. We're back for 2013.
2013 already?
Seems a long time since Christmas though, John, doesn't it?
It does seem like a very, very long while.
Speaking of which, how did you get on with that harmonica I bought you?
I haven't actually got it out of the box yet. I'm busy, you know, and I will learn.
Too busy for harmonica playing.
I will learn end of 2013.
You know.
It gives me plenty of time. Will you have learned to juggle by the end of 2013?
Probably not, no.
Will you still be ruining people's Christmas trees?
Probably. Yeah, I destroyed John's Christmas tree.
With the juggling ball?
New Year's Day, actually.
Yep.
And when I decided that I couldn't juggle.
No, it wasn't decided you couldn't juggle. It was realised you really couldn't juggle.
I can try.
On this week's edition of the Bridgnorth Pod, we're talking to Paul Passant, the former Bridgnorth Fire Chief, about his efforts to increase ambulance cover in the Bridgnorth area.
And we'll also be talking to Bryan from Millie Meerkat's Playbarn and Animal Encounter, which launched last Saturday.
We'll also be talking to Tim Barratt about the local phenomenon that is SheBangg.
And keep listening for all the latest community news. This is the Bridgnorth Pod.
Contact the studio, join the discussion, tweet us at Bridgnorth Pod or visit us at thebridgnorthpod.co.uk.
So Dan, what's the latest in Bridgnorth?
Well, John, hitting the headlines has been the Bridgnorth Bring Back Our Ambulance campaign.
The man behind it is our former fire chief, Paul Passant, and we're talking to him now.
So, Paul, what were your reasons for starting this campaign in the first place?
The reasons behind my campaign was that it's, well, in the public domain now. My grandson Thomas was taken seriously ill on Monday the 17th of December, and it took an hour and 8 minutes to go into the Princess Royal Hospital because there were no ambulances available. He was really ill, so on the Monday night we went there, and in the early hours of Tuesday morning he was in Birmingham Children's Hospital all wired up and on a respirator. I kissed him on the forehead, said goodbye. He got a fight and I was going to fight to make sure that what had happened to him would never happen again.
Your petition has received over 2,000 signatures. Were you surprised by the level of support you received?
I was very surprised. I mean, in the end I think we were up around the 2,600 names, and the people of Bridgnorth have reacted to Thomas's plight absolutely magnificently, and I can only thank them, you know, for all their support.
Paul, how's Thomas doing now?
He's improving daily. My wife's just arrived back from the hospital, and he's coming on great. You know, we're just waiting for the day where we get him back into Bridgnorth.
Now, I believe you presented this petition recently to our local MP, Philip Dunn. What did he have to say on the matter?
I made an appointment to speak to Philip Dunn about it. That was in virtually the first week of my campaign. I went and saw Mr. Dunn at his surgery at Westgate. I handed him the petition, and he'd already spoken to the West Midlands Ambulance Service and gave me their response. Now, I took the response away. I felt that they must have thought he's a little man that's going to go away, and a little letter from the West Midlands Ambulance Service would be it. I'd sort of sneak back to where I came from, but I dissected everything he'd said, found all the flaws in it, all the response I got from West Midlands Ambulance Service, and I sent it back to Mr. Dunn with a catalogue of cases, a dossier that I collected of people that had been waiting for ambulances, and within a couple of days I'd got an email from Mr. Dunn asking me to go and meet Anthony Marsh at his constituency office in Ludlow.
Taking recent events into account, would you say that the first responder service isn't sufficient cover for Bridgnorth on its own in the event of an emergency?
In the event of an emergency, and, you know, I've always said that the first responders, the crews, do a magnificent job in Bridgnorth. What happened at the time of Thomas's incident, as I found out later, that when Bridgnorth Ambulance station closed, we was promised a 24/7 cover by a community paramedic. On the day Thomas was taken ill, there wasn't a community paramedic on duty in Bridgnorth. We had to wait for one to come from Tweedo, which took 15 minutes. I contacted the control manager at West Midlands Ambulance Service, and when I questioned him about the community first responder paramedic, why there wasn't one there, he said, he was on leave or whatever. And I said, well, how often does that occur? And he told me quite often, which was absolutely appalling. But Thomas didn't need a first responder paramedic. What Thomas needed was a resource to get him into an intensive care unit, to a trauma centre, which was actually the ambulance, not the first responder.
I mean, I personally was quite surprised to find out that we didn't actually have an ambulance on site anymore. I think that was kind of done a bit under the radar, and I think the support for your campaign shows just how much it matters to Bridgnorth to know that covers there.
Lots of people that I spoke to, and I've spoken to hundreds of people, told me that they didn't even know we haven't got an ambulance in Bridgnorth. We'd lost our ambulance, so to speak.
What was the outcome of the campaign?
Following my meeting with Mr. Dunn and Mr. Marsh and Mark Doherty, who's the ambulance commissioner, on Friday, there's 2 high-dependency ambulances been put into our area. Now, these high-dependency ambulances will be going to, when the ambulance service gets a call to, say, a doctor's surgery for an urgent transfer to hospital or a medical centre, these 2 crews will go and do that work. So what that does, it gives us 2 of the 999 paramedic ambulances to deal with cases like Thomas's. So that's the first thing that West Midlands Ambulance Service has put into place. The second is the air ambulance. I asked, when I saw Thomas lying on that carpet on the 17th, I asked the community paramedic why the air ambulance wasn't called, and he said the ambulance was on its way, so it wasn't required. West Midlands Ambulance Service have now said that the air ambulance will be utilised far more than it is at the moment. I've also been promised and assured that the 24/7 paramedic that's based in Bridgnorth, if he's on leave or for sickness, that paramedic will be replaced. So we will definitely have a 24/7. If we'd have had our ambulance as it was pre-April 2012, Thomas would probably have been into the Princess Royal Hospital within 30 minutes. He arrived 38 minutes later than that, purely because he hadn't got a resource to take him to hospital.
Are you pleased with the results of the campaign?
I'm very pleased. I mean, there's so many people who've helped. Kev Adams, in the background, Kev helped with the petition, set up the online petition, and has worked quietly in the background. There's sort of hundreds of people that have gone out getting signatures, getting the petition signed. There's shops and businesses have all helped in raising the profile of the case. And I'm satisfied, with the result that I've got. But I'm not resting on my laurels. Mr. Marsh has been told in no uncertain terms, as has Mr. Dunn, who's also going to monitor the situation, that I'm not just going to go away. I'm going to make sure that what has been put in place remains in place. And if there are other cases, I will be on their case, so to speak.
This all goes to show the power of Facebook, doesn't it, as well? Because, it really does bring a community together when people realise that there's something really urgent out there.
Yeah, the Facebook campaign has been tremendous, and the people of Bridgnorth, I've been getting back from the hospital, there's been hundreds of messages. People of Bridgnorth have been absolutely fantastic. I post comments on Thomas's progress sort of every day when I get them, and there'll be 120, 130 people who've seen that. And, there'll be people commenting, and they're fighting for Thomas, and they're praying for Thomas.
Well, Paul, I think we can speak for the local community in thanking you for your efforts on the campaign and in wishing Thomas a very speedy recovery.
I'm very grateful for that. But as I say, I was just a little cog in a big wheel, and I made Thomas a promise that I would try and get things changed, and I think we as a community, we've achieved that.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Paul.
Thank you very much, Dan and John. Thank you.
Community events.
So, John, we've got some special mentions this week, haven't we? Some community news.
We have indeed. The first one is regarding the Bridgnorth Carnival, which happens on the 29th of June this year, 2013. Carnival Queen, Prince and Princess applications are now open. You can download the form for that at www.thebridgnorthpod.co.uk/carnival.
Now, something completely different now. You can look forward to an Avon party at the Bear Bridge North, taking place on Monday the 4th of February from 12 o'clock onwards. There'll be a nail technician, a masseuse, raffle. All proceeds from this will go to breast cancer research. So if you're interested, we can take you straight to the Facebook event. So visit thebridgnorthpod.co.uk/Avon.
And for anyone that missed Bridgnorth featuring on Great British Railway Journeys last week, we can take you straight to the episode on iPlayer. Just visit thebridgnorthpod.co.uk/railway. And now something new to Bridgnorth. It's Millie's Meerkat Playbarn. It's an animal encounters experience up by Countrywide and the cattle market. Bryan runs it, and we're talking to him now.
So, Bryan, from what I'm aware, this is the first of its kind in Bridgnorth, if I'm correct.
Well, as far as I know, I think one or two other people have had ideas in the past, but nobody's ever actually brought them together.
You've only been open a matter of days, but are you getting much interest from the local community?
Well, we opened on Saturday morning. The place was absolutely jammed for Saturday and Sunday, and since then we've had a nice steady flow, yesterday and today, nice steady flow of mums and dads and children.
Where did the idea for this new venture of yours come from?
Well, I've been lecturing in schools and doing birthday parties with animals and working with children now for nearly 30 years. I live close to Bridgnorth. Regularly go into Countrywide, which is next door to the premises that we have, buying food for horses and different animals, and seeing the premises unoccupied. And so I started to think that perhaps, it's something that I could combine with the animals, working with children.
What sort of animals do you have in the play barn?
Well, we vary them around. The place is called Millie Meerkat's Playbarn, so obviously meerkats are a major part of it. Very popular because of television coverage that they're getting at the moment. I've kept meerkats now for nearly 20 years, I suppose. Starting off with one that I was given from an agricultural centre where I was doing some work with birds of prey, one that had been rejected by its parents, and then a couple of years later given another one from a rescue centre, obviously of the opposite sex, and now 20 later we have quite a nice group of them which we keep on the farm where we live. And two of them we've had to hand rear because they were rejected by the parents, and that's Mr. and Mrs. Millie. So hence the play barn is named after them.
Lovely. What are they like to look after as animals, meerkats? Are they?
They're quite complicated little creatures. They're very, very territorial, looking after one another in a group, always having a lookout.
It's their play barn.
On the farm. Yeah, if you see them on a lot of television programs, documentaries about them at the moment, where we keep them on the farm, we have a pond with quite a large island, and they live on the island during the summer. Always one on guard duty, looking out for, around the Bridgnorth area, lots of dangerous things to look out for, so I'm told. So one is always on guard duty where the others are either foraging for food or they're sleeping. So they're very, very sort of tight-knit community, and I have to be very careful with them because obviously I'm not part of the main group. But two of them over the years I've had to hand rear because they've been rejected by the parents, so they now become part of my group. So if I'm going between the two different groups, I have to be very careful that I wash my hands so that one lot can't smell the others. But as most people have learned over the last few days, I did have an experience where I didn't wash my hands properly, and I ended up by having stitches in my fingers where the very tame one that I have tried to rip my fingers off because...
Ouch.
Obviously I've been associated with the others.
Ooh, bit of jealousy then.
Yes.
Yes, very much so. A lot of people, because of obviously television with the adverts and the commercials, a lot of people have been asking me recently if they would make good pets. They will not make good pets unless you've actually hand reared them. They are quite vicious. And one of the things that I've been showing people since we've had the play barn open, I do little talks with the different animals that we keep there. I show them their teeth, and I try to explain to people that these are not going to make good pets. They're not that, and they certainly don't come from Russia, which a lot of people ask me if they do.
Yeah. How many times have people said simples to you?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
And I always say to them they should get out more.
What events can parents and children look forward to at the play barn?
Well, what we're going to try to do as we go forward now, this is very new to me. I've never operated a Playbarn before, but what we would like to do is to try to encourage, toddler groups and mums to come along, nurseries, where they can obviously enjoy the Playbarn, which is the children's, bouncing around on bouncy castles and all this sort of stuff. Mums can now sit and have a nice cup of coffee, chat to the friends, and then at certain times during the day, we can do little interactive talks. But hopefully, over the next few months, we're going to start to bring other things into line where, we can perhaps introduce other things, whether it's music or dance.
Finally, Bryan, where can people find out more about Millie Meerkat's Playbarn and what you're doing there?
Probably the best place is obviously on the internet these days. The website, www.meerkatplaybarn.co.uk, and just go from there. As I say, last weekend we opened, and lots of photographs on there that were taken during the weekend.
Thank you for talking to us, Bryan.
Yes, thank you very much, Bryan.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay,
Cheers.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Live music.
So now on the Bridgnorth Pod, we're going to get in touch with Tim Barratt from SheBangg.
Hello.
Hello, Tim.
Hello.
It's John and Dan from the Bridgnorth Pod. You all right?
Hello. I'm all right, yeah.
Hi, Tim.
You been busy tonight?
We're just rehearsing a song, actually.
All right. Well, what song was that?
It was actually Pink's song, the Try thing.
Ah, tune.
We've
I
got
like
an
that one.
acoustic gig next week, just seeing if it actually worked acoustically.
Does it?
No. It's simple enough. It's just basically 4 chords, isn't it? It's just, I don't know, it misses something without the kitchen sink there.
Probably misses the massive string section and, orchestra. Yeah.
So I don't know. And 7,000, backing vocals.
Yeah, we all need some of them. So Tim,
Yeah.
SheBangg, surely you must be hitting the Bridgnorth history books by now. Where did you guys start out as a band?
Oh, good grief. Well, Chrissy and I started off as a duo, and we decided that we would like a little bit more than that. We had Leighton as our drummer, and he stuck with us from the very beginning, and since then we've had loads and loads of bassists, but that was about 10 years ago now. 10 years ago. No, 11 years.
Tim, where does SheBang's influences lie?
Well, initially we started doing things like Alanis Morissette type music, and we sort of power pop, female rock, that sort of thing. And initially we did loads of covers along those sorts of lines, and then gradually started slipping in one or two of our own without anyone noticing. Hope they didn't notice anyway. And gradually we did more and more of our own until we eventually could do a whole set of all our own stuff, and that's the way we've sort of progressed from there.
Now, Tim, you sometimes play solo. So when did you first pick up the guitar?
Oh my God, this is going to age me now. Do you want a date?
Not a specific time or date, but
I was about 13, and I had a classical guitar, and I decided I wanted guitar lessons, and I had a long-haired hippie type chap called Dylan, who may be listening. I don't know. He's probably not even around with us anymore. But he gave me 2 or 3 guitar lessons and started teaching me classical music until I got sacked because he wanted me to read from music, and I played a awful lot better without music.
I got to say, Tim, going a few years on now. You used to be a head teacher at the Bridgnorth County Infants.
I was head teacher at Bridgnorth County Infant School for a while, and then became head teacher of Brockton Primary School, and did all the normal sort of school type music that goes on then in schools, like musicals and what have you. And I think I taught an awful lot of the sort of Bridgnorth residents, and now I actually play with an awful lot of them.
I gotta say, Tim, you actually probably one of my biggest influences in starting the piano up. Because if you play, it is scary because I think you and I were sat, I think it was after one of the music festival meetings, and you look very different from when you did back then. I was like, it's you!
I've lost the tie and grown the hair.
Who writes all the lyrics for SheBangg?
Chris has written some of the early ones in particular, and a lot of the song material that we do is based on ideas that Chrissy gives us, and a lot of the earlier songs I wrote the majority of the lyrics, And then a little bit later on, Leighton discovered his lyrical talent. And we used to sit at lunchtimes when we were working together, when we were supposed to be working together, sit at lunchtimes and write songs. And a lot of the most important, I suppose, SheBangg songs came out from those very busy lunchtimes where Leighton and I wrote the songs together.
Does it take a lot of preparation to pull off a gig?
Probably not anymore. It's become almost automatic after that many years. And we worked out recently that Chrissy and I, in the various guises of the bands and things that we've been in, have actually close on 1,000 gigs together. But of those, probably about 500 or 600 of them were SheBangs.
So, Tim, do SheBangg have big plans for 2013?
Well, SheBang's become almost like a thread that carries on through, whilst all the members have got all sorts of side projects now. Now, over the past 3 or 4 years, everyone's saying, is it going to be the end of SheBangg? Are we going to finish and so on? We have actually contemplated doing sort of the final gig and so on, but then someone else offers a really nice gig or a festival or something like that, so we've carried it on. So I think it'll go along the same way, and we'll do all our side projects, and SheBangg will plod on through the centre of it all.
SheBangg is like fast becoming a legend, isn't it? Because it's like, SheBangg are playing. You know, they don't play very often anymore. Obviously, because you guys
we don't. In Bridgnorth, we don't play very often. We've got, I think, about 2 or 3 coming up in Bridgnorth, but we don't play very often in Bridgnorth anymore. We've gone as far afield recently as Hull and Oxford and places like that. But Bridgnorth, well, I don't know whether people are fed up with us, I don't know, but we don't play as often in Bridgnorth.
I do believe you've got a gig coming up this week.
We've got a gig on this Friday, at the Hen and Chickens, which I'm really looking forward to because it's a new venue. The chap, Paul, that we've spoken to, the landlord, sounds really, really nice. He wants to make a big go of the pub as a venue. And I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to go all guns with that. We've got lights and a new PA and everything, so we're looking forward to that one.
So, Tim, have SheBangg got any more original material in the pipeline?
Yeah, we're still writing songs as we're going along. One of the most recent songs we've done is a song called Ain't No Bother, which is a bit of a departure from our normal pop rock, and it's a bit more, it's a bit more R&B like.
It's very groovy.
Groovy, that's a good word for it.
It's definitely got a groove to it.
John and I were listening to it before we started recording tonight, and it was stuck in our heads. It was like, ain't no bother.
That was our plan. It was actually recorded in the studios of the band Madison.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
So it's the band members of Madison that actually produced the track, and it was recorded in their studios.
The Bridgnorth Pod with Dan Bradley and John Garbett.
This is Tim from SheBangg, and this is our song, Ain't No Bother.
Hey boy, think you're so clever, bringing me down to make you feel better. Big shot, what have you got? Just another face on the scene. Hey you, what can you show me? You're taking a chance, you think that you know me. It's clear there's nothing here, nothing new that I ain't seen. Ain't no bother, ain't no bother, ain't no bother, see the moves that I got. Ain't no bother, seeing's believing. Ain't no bother, I ain't deceiving. Ain't no bother, I won't believe it. Feel the groove that I got. Ain't no bother. You've been saying, try to psych me out with the games that you're playing. Big deal, are you for real? You mistake for another girl. Oh yeah, I'll be returning. I won't be stopped, I still be burning. A quick fix, a new box of tricks, and I'm feeling on top of the world. Ain't no bother, ain't no bother, ain't no bother, see the moves that I got. Ain't no bother, seeing's believing. Ain't no bother, I ain't deceiving. Ain't no bother, I won't believe it. Feel the groove that I got. Yeah, yeah. Ain't no bother, 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 ain't no bother. Oh, see the grooves that I got. Ain't no bother, aliens believing. Ain't no bother, I ain't deceiving. Ain't no bother, I won't believe in. Feel the groove that I got. Ain't no bother, aliens believing. Ain't no bother, I ain't deceiving. Ain't no bother, I won't believe in. Feel the groove that I got. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for talking to us, Tim. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Hope to see you all at Hen and Chickens on Friday.
So we'd like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Bridgnorth Pod. We'd like to thank Paul Passant for talking to us about the Bridgnorth Bring Back Our Ambulance campaign.
We'd also like to thank Bryan from Millie's Meerkat Playbarn for talking to us.
And we'd also like to thank Tim Barratt for talking to us from SheBangg.
For the Bridgnorth Pod, I've been John Garbett.
And I've been Dan Bradley.
Thank you for listening.